Welcome to English 9, Determining the Relevance and Truthfulness of the Ideas Presented in the Material Viewed, Part 3. I am Mr. Nel Principalado and I'm your teacher for this course. Let us find out how is the image about fact and opinion related to our lesson on determining the relevance and truthfulness of the ideas presented in the material viewed. Let's proceed to the next slide. For this week's most essential learning competency, we have determined the relevance and truthfulness of the ideas in the material viewed. For the enabling competencies, we have interpreting the message conveyed in the materials viewed and analyzing the information contained in the material viewed. In today's society, we are often bombarded with a lot of information. Most of these are helpful, but there are some which may seem to be misleading or even utterly false. You should take into consideration the correct ways of analyzing or interpreting ideas presented in any material, either viewed or read. So, what are the considerations you need to remember and understand? So that's the thing there, class. We have to remind ourselves on how can we classify if the information or ideas that we are dealing with are really based on truth or really factual. So, what should be the consideration that we must remind ourselves? Is the image that we have there can be considered as consideration? Is checking whether the ideas presented are fact or opinion will help us determine the truthfulness of ideas presented in the material viewed. So let's find out if that is one of the ways on checking or determining whether ideas presented in material views are truthful. Let us now define the terms fact and opinion. What is a fact? A fact should be based on observation or research, and it is not debatable since the information is true. Example: COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. So the sentence is conveying a fact because it is what? A common knowledge to everyone. Whenever we say fact, it is a universal truth or a general truth. It talks about truthfulness. How about an opinion? What is an opinion? It is actually your assumption or personal view. It is debatable because an opinion is not always true. So, if a fact is not debatable because it talks about the truth, this time, whenever we talk about opinion, have in mind that it is debatable because an opinion is not always true. It's not always true. And an opinion is just an assumption or personal view or judgment of a person. Let's have the given example. For me, COVID-19 is enough to make anyone paranoid when in public places. The phrase itself, for me, states or suggests that the statement is an opinion of someone. And of course, context wise, you have there what? You have there the line COVID-19 is enough to make anyone paranoid when in public places. But how about those people who do not become paranoid even though they are in public places because they are they are really practicing the recommendations of IATF on what to do whenever in public places even though you have the emergence of COVID-19. So it is not conveying a truth that is accepted by everybody. Okay? That's why it is an example under opinion. Facts and opinions help us determine how true a statement is. Thus, in any kind of article, facts and opinions can be used in developing the paragraph to add details on the main idea. So, of course, people, as you write compositions or essays, you should be good on making use of supporting details in your paragraph or in your compositions or in your compositions that can be either conveying facts or opinions, because by doing so, the more you make your composition that strong. It's the same with what? On writing an editorial article. So in the previous activity that I gave you, I asked you to write an editorial or persuasive article. And maybe you can recall that you made use of what? Supporting details, evidences that were based from researches, studies, data, existing data, statistics. So if you wrote your compositions using such, then you made use of facts in your writing. And as you proceeded to the conclusion solution part of your persuasive speech, maybe you what? You use their statements that what? That you formulated by yourselves that are what? Considered as opinions. Okay? And again, by making use of facts and opinions in your paragraph, then you are adding details on the main idea of your paragraph. Okay? So I hope the definition of what is a fact and what is an opinion are clear. Let's continue. Another way of understanding an article is through identifying its main idea and important details about it. It shows the relationship of the ideas to the theme or main point of an article. Main idea is the most important thought about the topic. The topic is the person, place, thing, or idea being written about. Supporting details can be defined as additional information that explain, define, or proven an idea. Of course, I do believe, class, that by this time you are fully much aware on what is this main idea that we are talking about in a paragraph. You know, again, that the main idea is the most important thought about the topic, and it can be found at the beginning, middle, or end of a paragraph, or it can be implied, wherein you are the one who is going to formulate in your own wordings the main idea of a given paragraph. And you know very well also the so-called topic. It is the person, place, thing, or idea being written about. It's the subject that you are talking about in your paragraph. And of course, the supporting details can be defined as additional information that explain, define, or prove an idea. And you know it also that writing your supporting details, you can make use of statements that convey facts or opinions. And by doing so, you're making your paragraph that good. As you develop your paragraph and you make use of this skill on using facts and opinions in the body or details of your paragraph, then you are bound to produce a quality paragraph. So again, we are talking about the main idea, the topic, and the supporting details. And you know very well that as you view a paragraph, you have to determine the relevance and the truthfulness of ideas presented in that material or in that paragraph that you are viewing. Okay? So let's have the next slide. For better understanding of what is main idea and supporting details, let's have the given example. Lenny is an excellent student. She is intelligent. She is responsible. Lenny always does her homework and she is never late for class. As a result of her hard work, Lenny is one of the best students in school. Lenny is an excellent student is the main idea of the paragraph. The main idea may be stated or implied. When the main idea of a paragraph is stated, it is most often found in the first sentence of the paragraph. However, the main idea may be found in any sentence of the paragraph. As I mentioned a while ago, it can be in the middle or end part of the paragraph. So when the main idea is implied, you need to read the paragraph and explain the main idea in your own words. So again, whenever the main idea is not directly stated, meaning to say you have there a main idea that is considered to be implied. And if that is the case, you have to write it in your own words after reading and understanding the given paragraph. The supporting details are in bold. There are there are 3 points supporting the main idea. You have there she is intelligent, she is responsible, Lenny always does her homework, and she is never late for class. They are all supporting details to the main idea. Lenny is an excellent student because as you deal with the supporting details, you will notice that they all support the main idea. That's why supporting details. They should be talking about or they should be presenting ideas that are associated with the main idea. If there is a strong relationship between your main point and details, then facts and opinions injected are relevant in developing the paragraph. So when it comes to the supporting details in your paragraph, you may choose on using or having their facts and opinions in the supporting details of your main idea in the paragraph that you are developing. Okay? So let's have the next slide. Let's read the article COVID-19 Situation in PH by Jake J. Maderazzo. As government speeds up vaccination of 1.7 million medical frontliners nationwide, it is necessary to inform everyone on how our country's COVID-19 situation compares worldwide in terms of cases and death per 1 million population. I think we are doing great. Despite negative alarmist news, according to the latest Worldometer.com info website, we are number 129 out of 219 countries worldwide with only 5,376 total cases per our 1 million population. In ASEAN, we are third to Singapore, which leads with 10,207 cases per million, while Malaysia is second with 9,601 cases per million. Indonesia is close fourth with 5,008 cases per million, with Sri Lanka fifth at 3,991 per million. Rich in medically advanced countries such as USA is at number 8, 89,359, Spain at number 19, 67,334, Switzerland at number 23, 64,648, UK at number 25, 61,919, and France at number 27, 59,723. In terms of deaths per million, we are at number 118 out of 219 countries with only 113 deaths per 1 million population. Indonesia leads ASEAN with 135 deaths, while Malaysia has 36 deaths, Sri Lanka with 23 deaths, and Singapore at 5 deaths per 1 million. United Kingdom is another number 6 worldwide, 1,827 deaths. Italy is number 8, 1,652 deaths. USA at number 11, 1,618 deaths. Spain at number 15, 1,521, and Mexico at number 16, 1,468 deaths per million. These numbers speak the truth that since the pandemic outbreak last year, and whether there was a surge or spike happening, our country is still in a far better situation than others in this planet. The source is Inquirer.net. So let's proceed to the questions after reading the selection. Learning task 1. Put a check mark if the statement is a fact and a cross mark if it's not. Number 1. In terms of deaths per million, we are at number 118 out of 219 countries with only 113 deaths per 1 million population. Is it a fact or a cross? The answer is check. Number 2. I think we are doing great despite negative alarmist news. Is it a check or a cross mark? Of course, that is across. It is an opinion. Number 3, our country is still in a far better situation than others in this planet. Is it a statement of fact or an opinion? Is it a check or a cross mark? The answer is cross mark. It is an opinion. Number 4, according to the latest worldometer.com info website, we are number 129 out of 219 countries worldwide with only 5,376 total cases per our 1 million population. Is it a check or a cross mark? Definitely, it's a check. You have there the source according to the latest worldometer.com. So it's a result of a study. Okay, so therefore it is stating a fact. That's why it's a check. Number five, Malaysia has 36 deaths, Sri Lanka with 23 deaths, and Singapore at 5 deaths per 1 million. Is it a check or a cross mark? Is it stating a fact or it's an opinion? The answer is check because it presents statistics. Okay, so done with learning task one. Let's have the next task. Learning task 2. Look closely at the expressions written on the lips. Consider which are useful in giving opinion. Copy them in your paper. So what's the good thing knowing about expressions that communicate facts or opinions? Of course, it will make you that good identifying instantly whether the statement presented to you is conveying a fact or opinion. So let's go back to the activity. Which expressions can be considered useful in giving opinion? So we have the I wish, I feel, I would like to believe, let me point out, as far as I know, I can say that, if I may say, and eventually. So those expressions are useful in communicating the idea of opinion, while the remaining words, the fact that, the truth is, and accordingly, are all expressions useful whenever communicating ideas that convey facts. Okay? So let's proceed to the next activity. Learning task 3. Read the excerpt below from an inspirational speech delivered by a successful person to students on the topic Knowledge is wisdom and wisdom is wealth. Then answer the questions that follow. Write the letter of the correct answer. I think that you probably never met a know it all who really knows it all. One person can't know or notice everything. Sometimes it takes another person to help you improve your knowledge of yourself and the world. Equally, you also put your best foot forward for others to attain knowledge. I believe that the most important thing is sharing ideas with others as enriched knowledge. Remember to keep an open mind in the process. Think about what others know and say before you help by putting across what you know. This shows that their knowledge is as important to you as your own. This is exactly shared wisdom. Eventually, it grows, develops, and bears fruits like that of a tree. Hence, knowledge gives wealth. Let us answer the questions after reading the given paragraph. Number one, which sentence best expresses the main point of the speaker? Is it A3, B5, C9, D11? The correct answer is D11. D11, the sentence is knowledge gives wealth. Number two, which sentence best supports the main point? Is it A5, B8, C9, D10? Which is the correct answer? B A5 is what? I believe that the most important thing is sharing ideas with others as enrich knowledge. So that is what? That is also the answer for number two. That is the best supporting detail that best support also the main idea. Number three, what is the most important thing according to the speaker? Is it A, improving your knowledge of yourself? B, knowing everything? C, sharing ideas with others? D, sharing wealth? The correct answer is letter C, sharing ideas with others. Number four, which sentence is more of a statement of fact rather than an opinion? Is it A2, B4, C5, or D7? Let's go back to the paragraph. One person can't know or notice everything. That is letter A, number 2, and that is the correct answer for number 4. Number 5, what expression signals opinion? Is it A, equally, C, eventually, D, I believe, C, I believe, D, the fact that? The correct answer is letter C, I believe. Okay, done with the first paragraph or the third learning task. Let's continue. Learning task 4. Look for reading materials you have at home. Choose an article to read. Fill in the graphic organizers with the main idea, supporting details, facts, and opinions you found in the article you have chosen. So all you have to do is to copy this graphic organizer. And if you have there the paragraph, look for the main idea of it. Then what are the supporting details of the said paragraph? And you classify which supporting details fall under facts and fall under opinion. So this is an easy task. Look for your Google Classroom and look for the Google Form link regarding this activity. Let us have a quick rundown of what you are learning in our lesson. A fact is something that can be proven to be true, something that really happens, not debatable since the information is true. While an opinion is what a person believes or thinks about something, your assumption or personal view, and debatable because opinion is not always true. Using facts and opinions in developing your main point or idea establishes strong support. So I mentioned that when you wrote your persuasive speech, you made use of facts and opinions as your supporting details, and as you read your output, the more you are convinced, the more you were convinced that you were able to develop a strong persuasive essay because you're able to combine the use of facts and opinions in your supporting details or evidences of your persuasive essay. Okay? And of course, as a quick rundown of our learning, you know very well that making yourselves good on identifying whether a statement presented to you is communicating fact or opinion, then the more you can determine the truthfulness of ideas presented in material viewed. Okay? So let's have the next activity. Let us check your understanding as we reach the assessment part of our lesson. Letter A, write fact if the statement is based on truth, reality, and opinion, if it is based on personal belief, understanding, thought, or feeling. Number 1, the announcer believes that knowledge is the beginning of wisdom. Is it a fact or opinion? It is an opinion. You have there the announcer believes. You have there the expression believes. Number 2, knowledge can come from different sources. Is it a fact or opinion? It is a fact because it's true that knowledge can come from different sources. It is what? A general truth, acceptable truth. Okay? Number 3, the tree of life grows and bears fruits of wisdom. That is opinion. Okay, number 4. As far as I am concerned, knowledge is power. Is it a fact or opinion? The answer is opinion. Number 5. What I'd like to say is that knowledge is our wealth. Is it a fact or opinion? The answer is opinion. Let's proceed on letter B. Read carefully the selection, then answer the questions that follow. Everybody needs an activity that makes him feel like a kid again. You can see the enthusiasm in the eyes of a runner who crossed the finish line, accompanied by the cheers of the crowd. You can see in the eyes of a hunter who impatiently awaits the opening day and dream of that record hunt. You can see it in the eyes of a homemaker making rugs, a pastime she has enjoyed for decades. Maybe you hear a sparkle in the voice of a long distance race runner. Perhaps there's just a murmur of pride in the comments of a woman who made her favorite bread for a bake sale. Everybody has a special gift. Those who take advantage of it have a constant source of joy. Let's proceed to the questions. What line in the passage signifies a fact? Is it A, 1, B, 3, C, 5, D, 6? What is the answer? It is letter A. Everybody needs an activity that makes them feel like a kid again. Okay, number two. What part of the passage can you find the main idea? Is it A first, B middle, C last, D not stated? It's letter A first. Everybody needs an activity that makes him feel like a kid again. Okay, so let's continue with the last activity in our lesson. Reflection, directions. Reflect on what you learned in this lesson on determining relevance and truthfulness of ideas by completing the prompts below. Number one, I understand that checking or determining the truthfulness of ideas presented in a material viewed, you have to determine whether the statement presented to you is communicating a fact or opinion. By doing so, you can tell the truthfulness of the ideas presented in the material viewed. Number two, I realize that I should be good on determining whether a statement presented to me is conveying a fact or opinion because by doing so, I can tell whether the ideas presented are truthful or not. Number three, I need to learn more about on figuring out or telling instantly whether a statement is communicating a fact or opinion. I need to learn more about what are the commonly used expressions that instantly communicate that the sentences are conveying facts and opinions. Okay? Thank you. Have a good day and God bless us all.